So y'all really like my poster, huh? Okay, I'm about to put y'all on while I do my makeup for this Sango DJ set. But basically, full disclosure, my advisor did create the template for that poster. He designed the background because he wanted us to have a common lab poster aesthetic. It was also his idea to make it black with white text instead of white on black like what's usually done. We used Adobe Illustrator to make the poster. I personally feel like PowerPoint and Canva and things like that are okay, but Illustrator is absolutely hands down the most powerful tool of those three. The thing is, Adobe has a pretty steep learning curve. It's really not the most intuitive thing to learn, but once you do, it's so worth it. I'm just gonna start off by giving some tips. So first of all, I feel like the way to really hack Illustrator is to learn a bunch of the keystroke shortcuts, right? It'll allow you to switch between different tools really fast. I have this master document of a bunch of shortcuts that have helped me that I can share with you guys. And then I would recommend, if you've never used Illustrator before, I would start your poster like 3 weeks before you need to print it. Probably 4. Some other principles I went by: try to get as little text as possible. For my introduction section, instead of copying and pasting my paper's abstract, I took representative figures from like the 3 or 4 most important papers that support the research that I'm conducting. And then I got high-res screenshots of those figures and added them with a few words of text. Then I have a lot of figures. I definitely couldn't fit all the figures that are in my paper into that poster. I went through and said, what are the most important pieces of every figure that I really, really want people to see? I'm only gonna include that. And then again, for the results, as minimal text as possible, basically only including what is the conclusion of each little section of the poster. For each panel, I include a little experimental design blurb. I got a lot of the stock images from things like BioRender and BioIcons and stuff like that. I would use those stock images, just like some basic timeline things to show people exactly how the experiment was conducted. Other tips, my advisor told me not to make, and I really tried, I didn't do this with all of them, but I try my best to not make my figures smaller than 3 by 3 inches. I also didn't make any text under 15-point font, just so people don't have to, you know, have the burden of getting all up close and personal just to see when it's blown up in person. And there's a bunch of online tools to figure out if the color scheme you're using for your figures is gonna be able to be read by people that are colorblind, because you don't wanna like keep the information from them. But it's a good idea to budget a lot more time than you think you're gonna need, even if you're good with Illustrator, because resizing things and like reformatting and all that kind of stuff really does take forever. Also, something that really helped me was literally sitting in front of my boss. 2 or 3 sessions of watching him use Adobe Illustrator was a huge help for me, which is why I want to do a workshop for you guys, you know, when my life stabilizes and I have a little bit more time. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm a huge Illustrator advocate. Of course, it's hard to learn, but like, it's so worth it. Let me get back to y'all with the final look. The fit, sneakers.